Hi, this is Birchie, the co-founder of OpenSolar, and we wanted to create a video for our US users and for the broader 200,000 people in the solar community in the US serving clean energy to homes and businesses here in the States. Firstly, I want to share our thoughts with those directly affected by the crisis. Lives being lost every day, and it's saddening, obviously, across the board to see this. And first and foremost, we want to keep ourselves safe, our crews, our families, our teams. We at OpenSolar are working around the clock on support, so we're full capacity on support. So contact us at support@opensolar.com, and we're all working remotely and here dedicated to help in every way we can through this. And really, as part of that, we put our heads together and thought it would be helpful to do a video to really, in one place, contain all our ideas about how we think we can help and what the industry needs to do. And with my nearly 20 years experience in the space now as part of this community, wanted to share the best ideas we have about not just what can get through the COVID crisis, but what we can do to come out stronger. Because I think in this crisis, there is, necessity is the mother of invention, and there's an opportunity to do things to make our industry and our solar businesses stronger, healthier, lower cost, more efficient, and position ourselves as a digital business for the decade of solar growth we have ahead of us. So we're calling the video Emerge Stronger. You'll see there's 5 ideas we're going to go through. You'll see on this we've put times for each of these ideas where they are in the video, so that you can watch it at leisure in full or go directly to the places you want to focus on. But we hope this helps, and we really believe that if we do these things as an industry, we're going to be positioned really well for the exciting time coming out of COVID into the solar decade ahead of us. So the 5 ideas we'd like to share based on 2 decades participating in this is, including starting Sungevity, which was the first remote solar design company. We grew that to be the 3rd largest solar business in the US. It started back in 2007. Also leveraging ideas that we've got from seeing what's happening overseas, serving thousands of users across these countries through OpenSolar. So the 5 ideas. Number 1, we need to share and learn remote sales. So in a second, I'm going to introduce you to the top sales performer at Sungevity to share some ideas. There's a great 15-minute interview with him. And we're going to do other things with webinars to share best practice, because it can be done. You can sell online. We've sold 15,000 systems in the US on the phone and online. So we're going to talk more about how we share best practice. Idea number 2 is to digitize not just the sales process, but end to end. We can use this as an opportunity to retool, slightly lower lead volume, less business coming through. Is just a great opportunity to retrain, retool, digitize end to end, so that we're in a position to grow by 30% per annum for the next decade, which we have to do if we're going to achieve climate goals. So we're going to have Kara from our team in the US present our OpenSolar solution and what we're providing as a free tool to everybody in the US market as the end-to-end solution for that. And number 3, we need to leverage data. There's an amazing amount of new data that didn't exist 3, 4, 5 years ago. We're excited to launch our new 3D tool with automated shading, automated placement in the virtual world that you can use in front of your customer. And Adam Pryor, who invented remote solar design back in 2007, is going to present that. And then number 4, the last 2 are really industry level ideas. It's great to be able to sell digitally and have this amazing virtual world experience and selling over the phone and online, but you're still not going to be able to scale if you then go into a 3-month process of paperwork and local jurisdictional door knocks and truck rolls. It just doesn't scale. Solar costs twice as much in the US to deliver as it does in every other market we see in our network around the world, almost without exception. So we need automated permitting. We're 2 years into a project called Solar App, which we helped start, and that's going live in Q2. So we're going to talk about that. We need that as an industry, and we need it now. 5th idea it's something that's really come to me over the last few months, especially with Solar App and with now COVID. We need to restructure our industry representation. We kind of need to grow up as an industry. To all our users in OpenSolar in the States and everyone who might be watching this, we think now is the time to have a conversation about getting true representation, well funded, so that we have a voice in Washington and the state governments over this decade we're going into. If we don't fix this, we cannot succeed at the macro level. So it's a challenging time, but if we tackle these challenges with innovation, we've got the smartest people in the world working in our industry, the most incredible people, all passionate about what we do in US solar. And if we digitize and use the toolkit, and we're confident and we're brave and we get representation, because we're 200,000 people, we're bigger than the gun industry and jobs. We're 25% bigger than the NRA jobs they represent. We are 4 times bigger than the coal industry almost. We're 4 times bigger than the utility solar scale industry. Distributed solar needs a strong voice. We do all these things, we can position ourselves for this solar decade ahead, which is the climate solution we all need beyond COVID. So they're the 5 ideas. Feel free to watch at your leisure. Idea number 1, share and learn remote sales. So as I say, we sold thousands of systems online at Sungevity. We've supported thousands more at OpenSolar. So I'm delighted to have join me Brian Johnston, who was one of the highest performing salespeople. Brian's gone on to do amazing things since, but he's very kindly agreed to share some time with us today to advise us on some of the tips you can do to build trust, to build a network of leads, to do the whole job online and over the phone. So thank you, Brian. So why don't we start just super high level? What were the sort of highlights of what made you successful, do you think, looking back, the many years you sold over the phone and online?
I spent a lot of time, trust building with customers, really trying to take the time to educate customers on the process, because back when we were selling, it was, like you said, totally remote based, and that was even predating the time of video conferences like we're doing here. So I was all phone and screen share. So I really had to work hard, for customers across the country that we were talking to be able to build trust, get them comfortable with the process, and ultimately move forward with us, which we started to see in great numbers, and felt like we had a good knack at doing it well.
Yeah. So we got a lot of leads online, just fresh leads, people you hadn't met before. We'll talk about referrals in a second, but when the leads come in online, you get the request for a proposal. Talk me through how you built the process from there.
Yep. Of course, we need to reach out, make some contact with the customer. I would try to do some initial trust building, but it's rapport building. Understand the customer. First, even when I've got a lead, I can see their home. What does the house look like? Where is it? What area is it in? What utility will they likely be under? You try to get a sense of what will that situation be like. Further, again, I'll look to get the usage and really understand now. I've got the home, I've got your usage. I would ultimately get into the process of spending time understanding where that usage came from, because I think, and I've seen it, I think a lot of people just get usage, build a system, and don't spend much time talking about what did you do to come to these kilowatt hours, or better yet, I've found is, now that we know that, what do you want to do? How would you live in the home if you weren't worried about the cost of the electric bill driving up, if you, for example, ran the AC like you wanted to? I heard time and time again that it's like, oh, my bill's $400. Yeah, I see it on these kilowatt hours. And it's like, well, are you comfortable at that level? No, not really. I'm turning the AC off when the family wants it colder and they're upset with me, and you can understand that situation, really kind of humanize the electric bill, but humanize the process. And, from there, we would get further into the discussion. I would be able to understand what they want out of it. Maybe I need to do a bigger system to get them what they want to. But it's again, it's the investment of the time with the customer, building trust, understanding their situation, so that I can hopefully bring them to a more comfortable, happy future, without worrying about how much the electric bill is going to be at that point.
So you've got kind of humanizing the energy footprint, understanding what the desires are, and that builds the rapport, as you're going through. And so I recall, did a lot of what you called self-educating, like making sure the customer deeply understands the different options they've got. Do you want to talk about that?
Yeah, because a lot of time, we all know it's hard to get, let's say if there are two decision makers, myself and my spouse, for example, it's hard for us to both get in front of the computer with a bulk of time talking about it. So a lot of my consultations were with one homeowner, but I had a few reasons. Ultimately, again, I want them to feel comfortable about the decision process. But my thought was, if I can really educate this customer about the process and how it all works, and both with their electric company now and then what solar can do for them in the future, if they really understand it, they can explain it to their spouse. They'll also feel more comfortable and confident about it. I think most people are hesitant to make a decision if they're not confident about what they're doing.
Yeah.
So it's that confidence factor. They can tell their spouse. They can ultimately tell friends and neighbors, and build referrals that way too. So there's a side, certainly a huge side benefit of it. But the deep education process I've found to be positive for many parts of the equation.
Yeah. And how do you guide them through the different choices? You present more than one, 2 or 3 different versions. How do you guide them through?
Yeah, so we had nice quoting software, and it made it really easy for me to put together multiple options. And part of the education process was to go through, oftentimes 2, 3 different system sizes. But what I would do is, let's say, for example, we had 2 systems. One was 100% offset, one was 125% offset. I could show them, not only it's just like, oh, here's the cost difference. I think that's a pretty surface level conversation, but more so, here's what it looks like on your roof. Here are these 2 systems. We can do any different designs together. But the big thing I was doing with the interactive quoting was to be able to show them again, like, what will life be like? So like, here you've got 125%, you've got a system that costs some money, but no, here's what it looks like on the house, here's what you could do with it, here's what life will be like in the home with this system on the roof. So it gets back to that, like, oh, I could be comfortable. It's going to help me save some money. I could be more comfortable. And so
Yeah.
that's where I saw a lot of people, the light bulb go off, and they wanted to move forward quickly in many cases, which is great.
Right. I've heard, so the counter argument is it takes too much time to do that extra education, and you've got, higher close rates, better educated across the whole family decision makers, like you say. Can we just finish off with referrals? Because that's really where the nugget of that extra education came through.
Yeah. And so, like I'd said, if they're educated, they can go in and explain it to their friends. They feel comfortable about it and confident that, like, yeah, I've helped myself, I can help my friend. But part of that was even in the quoting process too, where when we were looking at their roof, I'd have a map pulled up and we could see all the homes around. I would even go in and be like, oh, your neighbor across the street, like, they have a really good roof for solar. They have a pool also, right? Do you guys talk about the bill together at times, or do you think that they live life the same or want to be more comfortable? And then we'd start to go down the street, and I would see this in practice to where sell one customer, again, invest the time, make sure they understand it. But then if somebody down the street goes, and then now you're talking to two other people down the street, and then it just starts to go. And so we would often see a neighborhood start to light up. If you were to pinpoint all the houses, it would just go throughout. So yeah, it was great to be able to see, again, that initial time investment pay off with the education to build those referrals out.
Yeah, and that seems, from the data we're seeing in the market in this COVID period, especially important, because you don't have as much lead traffic coming through. So, but you do have higher conversions and contact rates. So yeah, if you can leverage more than one sale off every conversation, like you did successfully over the phone, then that's really valuable right now.
Yeah, and I guess capping that too. Like I've talked to some former colleagues that are still in the industry, and the point that you just said is what is happening. They're seeing fewer appointments come through, but through this process they're able to see a higher conversion rate. So the number of sales overall is still staying somewhat comparable to what it had been previously.
Yeah, that's great. Well, Brian, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.
Really kind of you, and really appreciate it. And we'll look forward to having you on a webinar for the OpenSolar users soon. Thanks so much. So there you have it from one of the masters. It can be done with this approach. Leveraging online tools, capture leads online. We'll show you in a second how you can do that with OpenSolar right in your own website, directly into your own CRM. Building trust, asking lots of questions, and really solving for the very human element of what customers need. Which can very easily be done online, and it creates more efficiencies outside of the truck roll that give you the time you need to invest that extra in real underlying education of the customer. We're going to do more webinars. We've got some other Sungevity sales experts lined up for the next few webinars we're doing at OpenSolar. We also think that there should be an industry forum, so we've started a conversation with Jan at Solar Wake Up and others, where we're hoping we can pull together a Facebook group where there can be an open forum for people to share information as well. We've seen that in other countries really successfully because there's such a community aspect to everything we're doing in this business. So next idea, end-to-end digitize. So the technology that supports remote sales. You also need to not just close a sale, but have a complete end-to-end digital toolkit to be able to scale your business in the decade ahead. And this also in the short term is a solution to reducing the amount of stuff you need to do physically on site. So Adam and I started OpenSolar to build the complete app that was everything we'd ever wanted. And our dream was to put that in one app and make that available to every installer around the world completely for free. Because life's short, and why not? That would be a big impact, we felt, with everything we've learned and the years of doing this. So there are other tools out there like Aurora, Helioscope. There's proposal services. So look across the market, find what suits you best with a kind of neutral hat on. That's the right thing to do. But at OpenSolar, and for our users, don't just use the remote solar sales and design technology. Really think about digitizing your end-to-end toolkit. And for new users, to give you a tour of what everything you can do on the tool, we're going to do super high-speed tour now, and I'd like to introduce Cara Emmerd, who is our US user experience manager, to give us a walkthrough on that.
Hello, my name is Cara Emmerd, and I'm the US user experience manager. This video gives you a high-speed tour of how the OpenSolar toolkit can help you not only with remote solar sales, but also with your end-to-end lead capture, customer management, design, sell, close, and project management, all in one toolkit. Remember, everything I'm about to show you is completely free. So, let's get started.
You can configure your own custom sales proposal in your brand, which you can generate in just minutes. You can show this proposal to your clients via a remote screen share or by sending via custom email. When a customer opens the email you've sent with a link to their online proposal, you get emailed, so you can contact them quickly. Our new OLARC chat function allows you to contact your customer within the proposal tool, so you can answer questions live or direct them to the scheduling tool, where they can set up a video share with you. Unlike PDF-based proposal tools, OpenSolar provides a customer-focused, digital, and interactive proposal. You can present multiple systems, views of the home, and your financing options. As you move through the proposal and select your different options, all of the figures update. Product videos and content are available for exhibited materials, where product partners pay to highlight their content. That's how we make OpenSolar free to you forever. You can take your customer all the way to digital signatures on your own contract, and in many regions also take credit card payments. With OpenSolar, you can be live online with your customer and redesign a system based on their feedback. From the My Energy proposal, you can easily jump to the studio zone and make quick adjustments or add equipment, such as a battery. When you go back to the proposal, all of the figures will be updated to reflect your changes. OpenSolar's founders have more than 20 years' experience in solar and know there's more to the game than just the sale. OpenSolar helps you digitally obtain customers through a lead capture widget you can include on your own website, which flows directly into your OpenSolar CRM. With OpenSolar's CRM, you can manage reports, rank and filter projects, one-click call, and upload or download project information. You can configure your project's workflow to match your company's stages and steps. Project management scheduling tools will also help you and your team stay on track. Enhance your OpenSolar account by utilizing our partners. Quickly pull meter data using our API with our amazing partners at Utility API, and post-sales order turnkey plan sets from our partners Natron. In the time of necessary remote solar sales, you can have your customers email you content, such as a photo of the service entrance, that you can upload and store on the project's page and is saved to the cloud. And if you have a Nearmap account, you can benefit from their amazing library of beautiful digital images with Nearmap on OpenSolar. Beautiful proposals and an end-to-end digital environment can really help your business succeed. Remote selling has become a necessity today, and you can save thousands of dollars on software with our tool that isn't just free, it's also the best digital toolkit available. Our amazing new virtual design technology will help you prepare you, your team, and your customers to embrace the solar decade we're about to start. When we come out of COVID, join us as we strive to be stronger, lower cost, more digital, and more efficient. We encourage you to visit our website, download the free OpenSolar app, contact our support team, and join one of our regular webinars to find out how our tool can best suit your business's needs.
Stay safe, and thanks for watching. We hope to meet you online at OpenSolar soon.
So thanks, Kara. That was great. The tool handles, as you can see, solar and storage. One thing to mention, we're seeing a lot of success with our users selling storage with solar as a security solution. So really build the trust with the user and sell the fact that with battery technology, you have backup supply. If you design your system well for that customer, it can meet their needs and make them feel more comfortable. It's especially right now in the COVID crisis, people want, food security, more food in the fridge, and energy security. They want battery solutions, so because they don't know what's going to happen. So definitely leverage that. We're also seeing, slightly lower leads across markets, substantially lower, unfortunately, in the States because of the face-to-face selling that's been a big part of the market here for the last few years. But we are seeing higher contact rates. So people do have more time. And if you invest that time online, we think that can really work. And we've seen higher sales conversions across the markets in the data and chatting to users. So, if you focus the energy security side, you reach out to your networks of existing customers as a source of growth, retouch them because many of them thought about this and were too busy, focus on security, listen to their challenges, give them the extra time online, as Brian said, really educate them, and then you can really see conversion rates offset some of the lead declines that we're seeing in the market. I also want to say, as one of the, the two co-founders of OpenSolar, we get asked a lot, OpenSolar is free, you're going to charge me later. We invest all our time training and, uploading, training our team, doing all the work, and then you can charge us, $200 a month or something. And we're just not going to do that. It's free and free forever. How we make it work is we have our partnerships with folks like the hardware companies who pay for us to configure their proposal tool how they want it, so they can help their dealers and have their content show up in the beautiful proposals that you saw. So that's a small fee we charge them per month, and that covers our costs. So we will not be charging for this. It's a free product forever for all the software we provide. Other service providers may charge you for imagery, for data, what have you, the panels, the hardware, obviously, you have to pay for those services and products, but we're free and free forever. So we hope that end-to-end product can really help you efficiencies, get you scaled up, and very, very importantly, should have said this up front, save costs. This is a time that we have to, as businesses, look at every line item and cut costs. And software, we've seen customers save thousands of dollars by reducing the number of tools they need, and by using this free tool to do all the things they need to get customers through the journey. So idea number 3, leveraging data that's out there and getting into virtual world design. It's the next level. It's really cool. We've been working on our solution to this for the last 2 years. We've accelerated our beta release due to COVID to get it in everyone's hands in this quarter. So we're launching Q2. Adam Pryor is my very good friend, solar hero, the inventor and brains behind remote solar design 13 years ago. And now 13 years later, we're proud to be sharing as a pre-launch what we're calling OpenSolar 3D. So Adam, to give a quick glimpse for our users, please, over to you.
Hi, my name's Adam Pryor and I'm a co-founder at OpenSolar. 13 years ago, I led the team who invented and launched remote solar design. These days, remote selling is more important than ever. So we're excited to preview what we believe is the most powerful remote design and sales tool for the industry. We start by entering a customer's address. 3D is available in most regions as a free service, and you can also use a paid service like Nearmap to access their amazing imagery and 3D data. So you emerge in this virtual 3D scene. No need to draw out the roof facets if you don't want to, just use Solar Touch to paint the panels directly onto your customer's roof. Doing this live with a customer can be really engaging and collaborative because it's so quick. And you can actually launch a screen share right from your online sales proposal, adding and removing panels in real time based on what you're hearing from the customer. You can show them shading throughout the day and over the year, and automate your shading estimates for your proposals and your finance partners. You can actually drill down to see performance and shading on individual panels and at any time over the year to optimize your designs. And this integrates with your battery design, which you can also model in OpenSolar to produce super accurate energy simulations which flow into time of use utility bill calculations and savings estimates. We think OpenSolar 3D can really help you excite your customers in your remote sales process and save you a whole lot of time and money. And as part of the OpenSolar software toolkit, it's completely free. Thanks for watching, and you can sign up today for a free account at opensolar.com to be part of the 3D beta launch coming later this quarter.
Thanks, Adam. It blows me away every time I see it. It's just it's beautiful, and imagining going through that with a customer. It's the coolest, fastest, most automated tool we know of in the market, and amazing customer experience to supporting this idea of redesigning, showing them how that can look and feel on their roof in a virtual world. That is the future of solar sales, we think. We've partnered with Nearmap and others, and we think that there are great sources of data you can get. Nearmap on OpenSolar is an amazing product you can access through Nearmap, where they have this incredible data source of all the high-res oblique images to present to the customer, amazing digital surface map data to support 3D, historic data, really supports the sort of premium sales and getting really good at selling online as well. So check out Nearmap as well, which is data is available on our website and at Nearmap. So idea number 4, the next 2 are really industry level, and really what have really kind of motivated me in the last 2 plus years is seeing how the cost of solar is half what customers pay in the United States in every other country around the world. It's crazy. We can have all the digital toolkit, most beautiful sales process, but if you get to the point of sale and you then go into 3 months of really inefficient paperwork, more site visits, truck rolls to the AHJ, all of this craziness, which adds, doubles the cost of everything we need to do to get a solar system installed, it doesn't scale. So in order to finally be brave and position our industry for the future we need and we deserve, which every other country in the world has done, we need to automate permitting. I wrote this article in Green Tech Media 2 years ago, which really highlighted the issues with solar costing under $1.50 a watt. And that is what we need to achieve in the US. Imagine how much solar we can sell if you're selling a system, and instead of doing all this crazy stuff you can see in the chart, you're selling it and you install it within a week or 2. It's half the cost or more. And it's incredibly efficient, and it brings in the ability to do high-speed sales, collections increase, velocity increases, cancellations go from 30%, which is the US average today, to near 0, because you don't have that 3-month process. So the acquisition cost falls immediately by 30%. With the price reduction, the acquisition cost falls more. People have often said that the acquisition cost is the source of all our problems in the US. The underlying source is this 3-month inefficient permitting journey. So thanks to some amazing work in the solar community, some friends, in CEOs of some of the best companies in the solar business, really supported and said, Birchie, post this article, you really need to drive us all together. So we got everyone together in a room for 2 days, and here we are, thanks to some amazing work by CalSA, RMI, SEIA, the Solar Foundation, NREL, some of the leading companies, Sunrun and Tesla have been amazing. And thanks to the leadership and those organizations for being so supportive. Here we are 2 years later. NREL have, with DOE funding, created a national standard automated permitting process. We've called it Solar App. In this quarter, it goes live in the first few cities. Because of COVID, we have a process now where we're trying to raise some money from more solar companies to accelerate this, to bring it forward so that we can have from the 3rd quarter, all the AHJs who want it, give them the ability to sign up and use this tool. Because obviously with 50% of jobs now stalled due to COVID-related delays in the permitting offices, this could be part of the solution in the near term and fundamentally position us to come out of COVID stronger. So check out the Solar App website. I'm just showing it here from NREL. We've championed this really for the last couple of years. There's great industry support for it. We have to make it happen. Please sign up at the NREL Solar App webpage and be a supporter. And we will be, as this consortium develops, getting back to you with how you can then go out to your AHJ and get them to sign up to this important solution. So this brings us to the 5th and last idea. And it really has come to me over the last few months working on Solar App, and especially now with COVID, that we've been irresponsible really as an industry, myself included, in not creating the structure that properly represents what is now a very large 200,000 strong workforce. And we have a structural problem in SEIA. We don't have a single representative across the clean energy industry to fight for our interests against the fossil fuel subsidies and make sure that we have ITC and PTC with a voice that represents all of us. And instructionally at distributed solar, SEIA is not designed to represent us structurally. They are a pay-to-play board made up primarily of utility scale solar interests and utility interests who have a different goal to distributed behind the meter solar. They want a sustainable, visible set of users behind the meter, and that demand to continue ad infinitum, so that the utility scale assets can be given revenue. Regardless of whether you're coal or solar, actually, that's the same need. For distributed solar, we want to sell directly energy to the users behind the meter. They're two different things. And we do not have industry representation for the larger workforce, which is the 200,000 people working for distributed solar. So we need to solve that. And I think we need to start that conversation immediately. And like everything in this we talked about in this video, we need to use the opportunity that we have through this crisis to really just garner the power and willpower to get this done. So I would like to suggest some first version solutions of this. I've chatted to the CEOs of most of the solar companies, the big companies in the industry, and everyone agrees. I've spoken to big users and smaller users in the OpenSolar user base in the States, and everyone agrees we need to get it done. We just need to coordinate and make this happen. So I'm going to propose an ABC of what I think the answer is based on all of these conversations. And we should start this conversation and figure it out together and make it happen. So A, we need a clean energy association. That is the entity that should represent EV, wind, solar, storage, energy efficiency, that fights against the fossil fuel interests that are getting much larger subsidies and distorting the price of energy in the US in an anti-competitive way for renewables, including solar, utility, and distributed. But structurally beneath that, we need a national solar storage association. This should be a ring-fenced, separately funded body that represents the distributed solar and storage industry. CalSA is a great example of what we need to achieve, but at a national level. So we have solar and storage interests represented, funded, that are along the lines of the CalSA structure. Could we have something that has a national framework? One idea that was suggested is a consortium or foundation of of all the regional CalSAs that has a single body that would have a structure where you have a horizontal of funding and technology and solar app and fundraising and policy at the Washington level, but then you have the individual state level, CalSA, Colorado, etc. beneath that, handling the local regulatory regimes and local legislative processes. But you would have a single level where you have the Solar Rights Association and Vote Solar and Solar App and all these big national policies represented with one voice. In terms of funding, this thing should be $10 million of funding at least a year. If at $10 million, we made it mandatory to become a member of the National Solar Storage Association, as an installer, you need to pay some number. For 10 million bucks, that would be about $25 per residential/commercial install. So that's about 0.3 cents per watt. So if you're doing 10 installs a month, that's just 3,000 bucks a year, or 0.1% of your revenues, because you'd be doing about 3 million in revenue at that scale. So for 0.1% of your revenue, we can have a $10 million budget that protects all our interests, represents the 200,000 strong workforce, and delivers what we need to achieve everything that has to happen over the decade of growth ahead. And we need to consolidate our power. We have far too many organizations who are coordinating to some degree, but with separate voices, separate funding structures, and often separate goals. So we need to pull in Vote Solar. We need the distributed elements of SEIA taken into this organization. We need all the great work that the regional SEIAs do and CalSA and those organizations do, the Solar Foundation jobs work, ACOR, the ACES, the Solar Rights Association, to get the voice of the 2 million customers involved and consolidated. All of that is an incredibly powerful set of interests that can really represent what we need to do, which is to get solar and storage in every home in America over the next decade. So on the last point, the consolidating power and, this entity, look at what can be done with consolidation. The NRA only has 150,000 workers in its industry selling and manufacturing arms. But look how much power they have, because they're well structured and focused and consolidated in what they're trying to do, regardless of what you think about it. The NRA has 5.5 million members. We have 2 million customers going up and to the right, especially with Solar app and digital toolkits and everything to grow faster. So that is a very powerful, soon to be bigger than the NRA customer base that should all become members of what we're doing in the National Solar Storage Association. As I say, I've spoken to tons of people about this. I think everyone agrees directionally there's fine tuning to be done, but it looks and feels a lot like this. And it involves restructuring SEIA completely into this national entity that represents the states and the solar and storage associations that are doing all this amazing work into one voice. So there you have it. That is the 5 ideas of what we think, in our opinion, is what needs to happen to not just get through COVID, to be represented, to be efficient, to be digital, to be ready for the decade of growth we have coming up ahead of us. And thank you for watching this video. If you have any questions on the technical side of things we've discussed, please email support@opensolar.com. If there's anything I can personally do to help any of you in the OpenSolar community and the solar community, please do let me know directly at birchie@opensolar.com. And we wish you well. And as my very good friend and solar champion and revolutionary Danny Kennedy always signs off, shine on.